As the September release of The Dragon Prince gets closer, the team at Wonderstorm have been unveiling more information about the characters and world of the show via their social media accounts. And there may be some clues as to the nature of one of the central races of the show, the Moonshadow Elves. I'm Welshie, and welcome to Theory Pop. On the 1st of August, the official Twitter account for The Dragon Prince ran a poll for followers to vote on which character from the trailer would get a special reveal. Rayla the Moonshadow Elf won by a landslide with over 50% of the total votes. So we were treated to some new images of Rayla along with 2 short clips of the Moonshadow Elf assassin in action. While many fans were happy to find out more about the character, I wanted to take a closer look at Rayla's character design, and by extension that of the Moonshadow Elves as a whole, to see if there was anything new that could be gleaned from these images. So, right to the point, I think the Moonshadow Elves are more closely tied to the dragons than we originally thought. We know from the first episode's prologue shown at San Diego Comic-Con that the dragons and elves were allies in the fight against the humans, but I think that the Moonshadow Elves' relationship with the dragons runs deeper than that, and here's why. Rayla's character model image confirms something we suspected ever since that first teaser image appeared way back in July. The Moonshadow Elves have horns. We also saw this in the trailer that was released after Comic-Con, with the other elves, including Runan, also having horns. This doesn't appear to be some abnormality or a special sign amongst the elves, it's a racial feature. We have seen other creatures in both the poster and the trailer that have horns, and that's the dragons. We get a very good look at Dragon King Thunder's horns, and I can't help but feel they bear some resemblance to those of the Moonshadow Elves. I mean, beyond the fact that they're horns. We have also learned that the Moonshadow Elves have 4 digits on each hand, instead of the 5 that humans have. This can be pretty tough to see in the trailer unless you pause it at exactly the right moment, but the images released of Rayla show this very clearly. A fan on Twitter even had this point clarified by the Dragon Prince team, confirming this is not a feature unique to Rayla, but is instead common to all Moonshadow Elves. And, if you time pausing the trailer just right, it looks like Dragon King Thunder has 4 digits as well. Now that is quite tricky to see or confirm at this point. We have a very clear shot of the front of Thunder's claws, but nothing of the back or sides. We can very clearly see the 4 digits extending from the... is foot the right word? Hand? I'm going with foot. So there's 4 digits extending out from the part of the foot we are able to see. Now, you may ask if it's possible that a 5th digit is hidden at the back of Thunder's feet. I asked myself the same question, so I looked at a real-world dragon for reference, the Komodo dragon. The Komodo dragon, also known as the monitor lizard, does have 5 digits on each foot. However, these all very clearly extend from the front of the appendage rather than from the back or the sides. I also looked at examples of dragons from 2 of my favourite fantasy sources, the tabletop role-playing games Pathfinder and Dungeons & Dragons. The front cover of the Pathfinder core rulebook has a huge red dragon with 4 claws extending from its feet. The same is true of the ancient red dragon in the D&D 5th edition monster manual. And of course we need look no further than the dragon on the Welsh flag to see 4 toes but with 1 at the back of the foot. Well, of course you'd be the one to prove me wrong. Anyway, it seems a fairly common theme for dragons to have 4 digits, and I don't think the ones featured in the Dragon Prince are any different. So Moonshadow Elves and dragons both have horns and both have 4 digits on each hand. What does that mean? It's possible that the Moonshadow Elves are of a draconic bloodline. Now, I don't mean direct descendants of dragons, but rather that draconic traits or power entered the bloodline in ages past. The best example I can provide of this is from, once again, D&D. There is a class in the game called a sorcerer, and one of the options for their sorceress origin is to be of a draconic bloodline. This doesn't necessarily mean they are descended from dragons directly, but rather that their magical ability comes from draconic magic that mingled with theirs or their ancestors' blood. The description reads, sorcerers with this origin trace their descent back to a mighty sorcerer of ancient times who made a bargain with a dragon. One of the features of this background includes manifesting physical traits of their draconic ancestors, such as dragon-like scales. This could be a similar situation for the Moonshadow Elves, and may explain why they have certain physical features similar to dragons. Going back to Rayla's character model, there's another piece of information we can see that may support this theory. Here we have a close-up shot of Rayla's hand. Upon her wrist is a small piece of jewellery. This is the appearance of a crescent moon, symbolising the Moonshadow Elves drawing their power from the moon. However, there is a section of the ornament that rises up into a peak in the centre of the moon. I believe this may be intended to give the appearance of a dragon's head. If you look at the very first teaser poster we were treated to, the overall shape of this trinket looks uncannily like this dragon. This jewel represents both the elves' association with the moon as well as their ancient pact with the dragons that gave them their shared physical traits. I mean, it's also possible I'm reading way too much into this, but that's what I do. I like to look for hints at possible histories or stories yet to be revealed. I find it fun and I want to share that experience with all of you. But I guess we'll have to wait until September to find out for sure. Thanks for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this Dragon Prince theory. If you'd like to watch another theory, click that shiny enticing box over on the left, or click my face up above to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.